Oh, hello, Neil. Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to your first live away day guide. Well, not your first. We've done a few previously live, but this is more of a regular thing. We're going to do them live on a Thursday, just not next Thursday to confuse you all. I know I've got a budgie meeting, would you believe? But we are kicking things off this week at 7:30. So this will be the new time, new slot for the away day guide. And it is Sheffield Wednesday. It is, of course, track to go Amy's away day guide. Amy, welcome. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thank you. I'm really excited about tonight's. I'm loving doing it live. I'm loving doing it in the evening. And the best thing about doing it in the evening is that when I've tweeted earlier, we've had a fabulous response for people letting me
Love that.
know which the ex-players they've remembered. There's some great responses there, and also we've had a few nice memories shared from previous visits to Hillsborough as well. So I'm looking forward to sharing those with you in the show.
Love that. And that's what we want, isn't it? As we move, particularly now as we move forward into this live part of the show, we want those stories more regularly. We want the pictures even, don't we? We want fan
Love it.
fan art,
Yeah.
fan pictures. You'd love that. I know you've been asking about that for a while. And also suggestions on shows and suggestions on what content should go in the shows, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Anything you'd like to see in the away day guide. For me, it's how I get there and what I'm drinking when I get there, or maybe where I'm drinking when I get there. I think normally it's Jaeger and that's all I need. But anyway, yeah, top tips for pubs and things. I have the reason I wanted to do this guide is because I've been to so many away games over the years. I've got my favourite places to go, but I know that you guys will have visited other places as well. So I think it's all about us sharing the knowledge and finding some new places to visit as well while we're there.
And you can, of course, pick this up on all good podcast platforms. It'll be on the Talking Town RSS feed. So enjoy. EJ Norris says, good evening, people. Good evening, EJ. I hope you're well. Trying to get to the Sheffield Wednesday game. Only my second away this season. Now, for those that perhaps aren't cricket fans, or perhaps even those that are but not yet haven't seen our Talking Cricket show, the man that you may not recognise is known as Grumpy Neil. He's a part of our Talking Cricket team. They did a show, not with Neil, because Neil had a committee meeting. That's right, isn't it, Neil? Committee meeting, wasn't it?
Yeah, earlier this week, yeah.
See, I've got mine next week. Different hobby altogether, but, same things will be applied. It's a yawn. But known as Grumpy Neil, big cricket fan. They had the cricket show on Tuesday. Check it out. And you're also a Wednesday fan.
Yeah, for my sins. 40 years. 40 near as damn it. Yeah. So... my grandparents used to live in Hillsbrough, not in the ground, obviously, in the town of Hillsborough. Had Wednesday players as lodgers when back in the 70s. So I was brought up definitely with Wednesday in the blood.
Love it. So 40 years. You've seen the highs, you've seen the lows, you've seen Kevin Pressman, you've seen all sorts.
Yeah, there's been times during that period where I've been less active than maybe I would have liked, and the glory years for me was when I was about 13, 14, so the early 90s, 1990, 91 promotion season. I was pretty much at every home game. Was the biggest high for me. So yeah, lots of lows and the odd high.
We can relate to that, can't we?
Absolutely. Yeah, I was just thinking it's very, very similar, isn't it? I think possibly Sheffield Wednesday have an even more illustrious history than us. Definitely more recent, I think. But yeah, it's one of those grounds that when I visited the first time, it took my breath away. I was just like, wow, this is pretty incredible to be at Hillsborough. It's one of the big ones that you have on your list when you first start doing away day games, for definite.
Yeah, I have to be honest. I've never actually been. I don't believe to Hillsborough. So I'll take your. EJ Norris says great ground to visit. He hears, and you say it takes your breath away. And obviously, being a home fan, being a regular as often as you can be. Neil, does it still take your breath away? Is it still a beautiful place to yourself? What does it mean to you, Hillsborough?
I mean, for me, because I live in Preston now. I for a few years I haven't been able to go as often as I like, and actually probably ended up going to more away games in the northwest than I did going to Hillsborough. This year, my lad's 16. Yeah,
I love a northern away day.
It's an age-old problem. My lad's 16, and he's really started to really push for us to go to more Wednesday games in the last couple of years. And so I've actually ended up going to Hillsborough more over the last 2 years, and it is exactly what you say. It still takes my breath away now, especially an evening game. Don't know why. Under the light seems to be even more iconic. Yeah, it's getting a little bit rough around the edges now, as a lot of grounds are of that age. Needs a little bit of TLC, but No, it just has something about it. You know, people talk about Old Trafford, but even at that level now, Hillsborough still has something about it that makes it special.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Amy, so we've got Neil to join us for the first portion of the show. Where do you want to be kicking things off tonight?
Well, the first thing I was going to say is how are you feeling about the transfers? But obviously
Fire
you've
away.
got your 8:30 show, so I'm really looking forward to watching that. What an amazing 24 hours it's been for us.
Yes, it absolutely has. That is a nice plug and well remembered. We've got our show 8:30, Talking Towns Transfer Talk. We've got Holy possibly going to Bradford. We've got a new loan signing, McKenna's first loan signing from Bristol City. Ashton's dashboard working overtime, and obviously last night's show we had Christian Walton permanent signing. So that we've discussed that. Yeah, huge 24. So by the time it's face Wednesday, who knows where the squad might be in terms of any additional faces and whatnot, but it's an exciting time, right, Amy?
And we're one man down as well. One that probably has been teetering with his foot half out the door for a little while. Mr. Kenlock's gone. Colchester continuing their collection of ex-players. Why you'd want our
he's joined
just
our
proving
side.
Their status of being the mini version of us, aren't they?
They are. They truly are. They are. So, should we kick things off with previous matches? Get Neil's opinion on some of the previous games. Get some stories to it.
Absolutely.
Oh, hang on. Sorry. Previous matches. There we go. Because what I plan to do is just let the people know at home. I plan to chapter this show up. So you can just jump to a specific chapter if you need it, if you want it, if you're out on the road, if you're actually there and you think, oh, Christ, where do they say to go to the drink or pub or park or whatever? I'm going to try and chapter the show up. So those little segues there will be a little kick in the backside for me to put the timestamp there. So, Amy, previous matches. Talk to us. What's going down?
Well, the first one is the most recent one, the game in September. Obviously, beginning of this season is one we'd have preferred to forget. But if I remember right, it was a fairly exciting result for us. I think everyone was expecting it to be, Sheffield Wednesday to be one of our hardest games. We were expecting you to be one of the biggest clubs in the league. And it was a late winner from Connor Chaplin, wasn't it? Late equaliser, sorry.
No, yes, it was. Thanks in part to, I'm sure you've seen the goal, Neil. Macaulay Bonne stalking the goalkeeper.
Beautiful.
I mean, I believe that there's been a little banner put up at Portman Road saying behind you. And I've got to say it's caused a bit of concern amongst the Wednesday fans, that one. I've seen a lot of messages saying fancy putting something up about a last-minute equaliser.
We do agree. There's a large portion of us that do agree, Neil. I am with you on that one, my friend. I do agree. But you must have seen. Were you at the game first of all?
No, I wasn't. No.
So you must have seen it. And what were you thinking when you hear about it, maybe from a friend, and you think, "Oh, it can't be that bad." Literally, can't be as bad as you described it, and it's almost worse.
I mean, from my perspective, it's come about from one of our best players of the season. I mean, taking Bailey Peacock Farrell on loan was just an unbelievable sign in the first place. International goalkeeper who was really widely respected. But then for it to come from him, but I said at the time, obviously seeing it back, there seemed to be no calling from the defence at all to him. There was two or three looking directly at what was happening, and he didn't seem to get a call until literally the very last second. Now, obviously, I don't know. I'm not on that pitch. I don't know what was said. Some others said that he did get a call. But yeah, I mean, it's just one of those freak occurrences. And considering the guy it happened to is such a good goalkeeper, you just chalk it down to experience and just one of those things, I guess.
We did sort of, in my opinion, as a home fans, play really well that day. But looking at the last five, Amy, they were so close to continuing what has been recently a great run, a great fixture for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you go a little bit further back, I would say it's a bit even. Like
I'm not able to.
No, it's fine. Which I will tell you about that one in a minute. But yeah, definitely. The last season, if you go back, before this season, last time we played them, Sheffield Wednesday was in the relegation season when they did the double over us, beat us 1-0 at home and 2-1 away right at the beginning of the season. The first one was. Don't recall that one. I'd be surprised if I wasn't there. I must have been on holiday. But anyway, that is. that wasn't a great season for us. Let's just forget that one happened. But the season before that, March 2018, was a
1-2-1.
midweek Tuesday night game. Marty Waghorn scored twice, and the last one was right at the end. So I think we went 1-0 up, then it was 1-1, and then it was we won 2-1. And I remember really clearly walking back to my car afterwards, and the town bus driving past, and us all cheering at them. So that Mr. Waghorn made our night very special. And then just going a little bit further back than what your dates are showing, I think was the Jason Andre Dizelle debut, where he scored
Header
on his debut, and that was just such a special. I mean, that was a 1-1 game, so it wasn't even like we won, but just being there, it felt at the time like I was part of history. And then, of course, poor old Andre never quite measured up to expectations with us, but hopefully he will in the future with his other teams.
That moment particularly stands out because it did feel like we suddenly had a player, and the hype about him, obviously being a son of Jason, who was a great player for us in itself. Yeah. Are there any sort of memories from the fixture that sticks out in your mind? Any players, maybe, Neil, that sticks out in your mind from either side for this fixture?
It's funny looking at those recent fixtures, because I mean, I've got a lot of people who I know are Ipswich fans. Not only Ian Davis, who we do the cricket podcast with, but my brother-in-law is an Ipswich fan, even though he's a Preston lad. My boss is an Ipswich fan, and I believe watches these podcasts, so I have to watch my mouth.
Good work.
So I've always had Ipswich fans in my ear, and I always have this feeling about Ipswich that they're a bit of a bogey side for us. So looking at those recent fixtures, it sort of breaks that mold a little bit. But yeah, as I said, recent times it's been a bit up and down. You know, both sides having the better of each other on occasion. Talking about what we were talking about earlier, my mind goes further back than that, and the 1990 season when we got promotion. It was the first game of the season. 1-2-0, and that was it. We were away, and that was a great start to the season. And then mid-90s, we seemed to get some big results over Ipswich. 5-0 and a 4-1, 94-95, 2 consecutive seasons. And, you know, that was a time when we had goal scorers like Mark Bright. And, you know, if you're going to have goal scorers like that. But it's interesting you mentioned Martin Waghorn there. He always seems to score against us.
Does he?
Even to the extent that I think if I remember rightly, he scored for Derby in that match that sent us down last year. Well, ultimately would have gone down anyway, but the match for Derby last match of last season. So yeah, again, bit of a bogey player for us. So yeah, it's interesting that he pops up again.
Love
funny.
That. You won't find bigger Waghorn fans than me and Amy, will you?
No, you definitely won't. Nowhere. I think he was our greatest loss, and in that sort of that stage of our football, I think losing him that summer just was the nail in the coffin for us. We had some really nice memories shared on Twitter, so thank you to Ian and Northeast Blue. So, funnily enough, our Ian from the Cricket Show has said that his favourite ever game at Hillsborough was Christmas in 2005, when Nicky Forster scored the winner and we won 1-0. And Northeast Blue remembers back in the 90s, May 95, when we lost 4-1 and got relegated. So that might even be the season you were referring to just then.
Yeah, Whittingham and Bright on the score sheet again. We don't have players like that, unfortunately, anymore, but there you go.
Christ. Well, we know about goal scorers not having them anymore, but that Nicky Forster one, that sort of jumps out at me, primarily because it's closer to my sort of memory time, but more particularly because Nicky Forster was forever injured. So to see him not only playing but scoring. Comes out like a sore thumb. It's like, wow, Forster signing and he's scoring as well. We've all had players like that, haven't we, Neil, over the years, where great player but forever injured.
Oh yeah, I mean, we seem to accumulate them for some bizarre reason. I don't know what it is to do with the medical staff at Hillsbrough, but yeah, I mean, people like Francis Jeffers, for example, came with you guys all know as well. You know,
yeah, we know him very well. Yeah,
just never did it. And again, as I say, striker, the one big one, and who probably would have gone on to better things. He's still a Wednesday legend, David Hurst. Unfortunately, towards sort of the middle to end of his career, had a couple of bad injuries that probably curtailed him getting more England caps. And yeah, it's a shame when stuff like that happens because, as I say, clearly there are good players in there, and a bad injury like that can just be the difference, really.
Absolutely. Amy, as we're on players, we obviously don't want to take up all of Grumpy Neil's time. Don't make him more grumpy than he self-proclaims himself. Shall we? Do you want to do the player connection quiz?
What a perfect segue into the next section, I reckon.
Explain what it is, what we're doing, etc. To the guys and girls, and me and Neil at home.
So we started doing this earlier on in the season purely for me to see if I could put Martin on the spot and how many names he could pull out of the hat. Really enjoying it. What we do is I jump online and I try and find as many players who have played for both Ipswich and Sheffield Wednesday. I can see EJ Norris is straight in there with a fantastic one. But you two don't look at the comments actually, because somebody might pick a name that.
All right. I'll do my best. I'm going to ignore the comments right now.
So
no one put any YouTube super chats in because I can't look at it to read it out.
As we are on our first live tonight, we'll have to try and keep doing this where I could give you a couple of clues towards them, but I picked out. So I started today with 12 players that I found that played for both teams. Having put it on Twitter, that has since gone up to 19. It's loads, I know. And there's some cracking names in there as well. I'm really, really excited to go through them. But we've got loads and loads of names coming in through the chat. One of whom has already been mentioned today. So do you want to give yourself a guess, or do you want me to share the 4 that I've picked out for you guys to try and figure out who I'm
previously
talking about?
I came up with 9. So if there's 19,
you've got 9, amazing.
On some of these.
No, you know what? Just give me my clues. Really, I mean, I've got 3 so far, and one of which we've just spoken about. So I've only thought of 2 independently. I didn't realise we shared such close history, Neil. Like, you know,
it's amazing.
No wonder our players are always injured. If we're player trading with each other, Neil, because we're rubbish at fitness as well. So
problems.
You know, let me look at Colchester recently. You know, if you do nothing for 10 years, then take their players, what do you expect is going to happen? Like, you know. Exactly. Right. What have we got? Here we go.
So to begin with, Neil, this player used to play for us and now plays for you. He joined us on loan from Wolves for the 17 to 18 season.
I didn't know he was there.
If I remember right, he had quite a good chant as well.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And he's with us now?
Yeah.
Oh, this is going to be really obvious. I'm just gone blank.
It happens.
Oh, my word.
Go on, son.
I'm now going through every position in the team. And it was at Wolves.
Crunch has got it.
You can pass it, but
no, it's
I
not
do
good.
have it. I do know it.
Go on, Martin. What are you saying?
Dominic Iorful, or otherwise known as Iorfa.
Of course it is. Yes.
Spot on.
Absolutely.
Shoot myself now.
Right, Martin, for you, currently plays for us, used to play for them.
Matt Penny.
Yep, spot on. Yeah. I'm not even giving you any clues because he's like first team player, current first team player.
Penny the 4. Right, here we go. Neil.
I promise I haven't tipped this for Martin's benefit. Right, let's have a look. We made a very important signing this week in our goalkeeper. Finally, hopefully got a safe hands in the net. Which goalkeeper has played for both teams?
But I ain't Kevin Preston. I can help you out there.
Yeah. And I ain't got a goalkeeper in the 9 that I found either. I'm going to go for... I bet this is going to be somebody completely random who is probably a second choice or something like that.
He had 20 appearances for you in the 2012 to 2013 season.
Oh, my word. Okay.
He had even less for us.
Was it somebody like... No, I was going to say Chris Kirkland, but he had more appearances. Oh, this is going to be terrible.
Oh, Chris Kirkland. No, he wasn't at 10.
No, he wasn't at Ipswich, was he?
No.
I
don't know. We were going through Gary's like revolving door at one point.
Yeah. Well,
I was quite surprised I remembered him.
On loan. There was a lot of lone goalkeepers came in.
So he was one of your players.
Scott Carson, no?
Nope.
Not had Scott Carson. I wouldn't know.
Oh no, I apologise. Wrong way around. He was on loan to you guys,
Yeah.
and we had him for a season.
I wouldn't know this, you see.
No.
So you're not alone here, Neil.
But we
Honestly.
had a load of goalkeepers during that period.
Same. It was like a revolving door at one point.
Yeah.
It truly was. Who is it, Amy?
Stephen Bywater.
Oh, he only played that, man. I thought he played a lot more than that.
Stephen fucking Bywater.
Yeah, that was promotion season. Yeah, because he came in, I think, about halfway through the promotion season.
How was he for you?
I remember him being very good.
He was dog.
Yeah, no, he did a job. He certainly did a job, and he was I think my feelings about him was very much a steadying character, which, as I say previously, possibly we hadn't had in goal.
He's most famous at Town, Neil, for having a fight with Alex Bruce on the pitch. That's,
yeah.
That's another Wednesday player, so yeah, there's another link. So
Alex Bruce, love him. Had him on the show.
Well, the next question is about Alex Bruce, and then we've completely ruined this now, haven't we?
Well, this is it. What's the fourth one out of the 19? So for those at home, last one coming up, but there's plenty more to guess. So get the suggestions in the chat for the 19. Who can name all 19? That's the big one. Amy, what's my last one?
So this player is potentially one of the most underwhelming signings we've had in the last 6 years.
I don't know if I can
so. Well, exactly. I can't make it too easy for you. Obviously played for both teams. He had 11 appearances for us in that season and didn't score once.
I don't remember Will Keane playing for Sheffield Wednesday. Oh, I mean, when you say underwhelming signing,
even more underwhelming than Will Keane. Although we all expected Will Keane to be pants, I think it was the most ridiculous
can't look at the chat
ever.
So I'm not looking at the chat.
It's a favourite of ours. We always, every single away game, this topic comes up.
Any underwhelming signing, Neil? Only 11 appearances for us. Any idea who that could be? Because I'm honestly thinking every signing or game changes.
I think I know.
Yes, I got it. Yes.
He's on my list, and that's why I've just looked down, and I think I know.
Is it a midfield player?
No.
I might be right then.
Go on, Neil, to nick it. You'll pull it back to a draw if you get this.
Is it Connor Wickham?
No, although I hadn't thought of Connor actually. Connor made far more. Connor was definitely not. Well, he weren't a signing. He was ours.
I had Giles Coke.
Are you ready? Leon Best.
Well, yeah.
Again, another player more famous for what was said on the radio about him. Leon Best, he's in shit, mate. That was exactly what the bloke said on the radio.
Another one that was a fleeting glimpse at Hillsborough. So yeah.
See, I was like Ben. Giles Coke, that's who I was going with. So it's a draw.
Neil, tell you what, I don't think he's in my 19. Giles Coke.
There's 20. There's 20.
There you are. You made it to 20 now.
He was underwhelming. But Neil, you've come on and you've left with your pride at the very least. You've not done in England. You're not embarrassed yourself.
That first one, though, I just can't believe I didn't get that. So
you crunchers like me and you, Neil, Cokey. But anyway, Neil, did you enjoy that? Yeah,
very much so. It's good to think of some past memories and try and rack the brain a little bit.
Before you go, we'll do a little prediction league of guests as they come on in the live shows. What's your prediction going to be currently for Wednesday versus Town? A lot could change, obviously, with injuries and whatnot, but what's your prediction as we sit here on the 20th?
It's a difficult one, and I'm going to try and keep it quick, but given the fact that we were absolutely pants and then turned in a performance against Plymouth on Saturday, has the tide turned? I'm going to sit firmly on the fence and say 1-1.
1-1. Love it. Neil, as always, this man is part of our Talking Cricket team. You can check him out, Cruncher, and all the rest of the wonderful people when they discuss normally just how embarrassing England have been. But we missed you on Tuesday, Neil, but enjoy the rest of your evening.
Yeah, thanks very much for having me, guys.
Cheers, buddy. Neil. Look after yourself. Look at that. Talking cricket on the platform. England tried to play cricket, Amy, but they just didn't do very well. I'm not a big cricket fan. I'm learning as Neil and the team talk about it. I'm picking it up. A couple of players I've got an opinion of now, thanks to them, that perhaps is right or wrong. Probably wrong, but I wouldn't pick some of them.
You can only learn from the people you're talking to. I tell you what, I used to love it in the days of like Freddie Flintoff and all. I used to love watching cricket back then. And I'm dying to get to Headingley for a match day, for a test match, or what do they call the short one? My God, it's so long since I looked at cricket. But yeah,
T20 is that a short one?
That's the one, the T20, something like that. I'd love to go, or maybe the women's team. I'll go and watch it at Headingley sometime soon.
Somebody who's a rookie on the spot there with some terminology. I mean, I've just learnt the terms white ball, red. Is it white ball, red ball?
I have no idea. You're talking to somebody else. I used to love it, but totally out of it now.
This is off topic. Brandon kept talking about this white ball cricket, and I was thinking, what the fuck is he talking about? I had to Google it. Neil, it is white ball I'm thinking of, right? I am right in thinking it's white ball.
White ball for shorter format, red ball for test match. Yeah.
There you go. Brandon kept saying it, and I kept thinking, am I hearing it right? Am I going? What's going on? White ball, red ball? What's he fucking banging on about? Anyway, Neil, we love you. Appreciate it. Look after yourself. I'll let him leave now. I'll unlock the VIP door. There you go. You can. Right, where are we heading? He has bolted out of that door, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, bless him. He's got better things to do with his Thursday evening.
Right, where are we heading now? We've done player connections. We've done, and there's 20 to get. So get him in the chat. And we've done previous matches. Where are we heading now? Do we need a drink? Do you think?
Yes, I reckon so.
Where to drink? Right. Where's the best places then, Amy?
So I've decided against going to Hillsborough this season purely because Bolton was a lot easier for me to get to by the train, and I would rather be training it so I can have a beer. Hillsborough is, as I say, a wonderful ground, but it's not easy to get to if you're going by public transport because it's out on the edge of the city. Bramall Lane is brilliant because it's just down the road, but Wednesday you have to get out of the city centre. Yeah, yeah. That's. Could you imagine if he'd come on and said Carrow Road is great? So, no, bye.
Yeah,
so Wednesday you have to, if you're going into the city centre via train, you have to get back out again, and that is a pain. And for that reason, we aren't massive fans in my group, I think, of Sheffield Wednesday away, but it is a lovely away day, and EJ, you'll have a fantastic time if you've never been before. So drinking wise, my recommendation would be in the city, first. So I stop swearing. So I would recommend in the city centre, there is the Sheffield Tap at the train station. So if you're coming in by train, starting and ending your day there, you'll be copying what I do. Nice ales, Aspel cider on tap. And I do remember enjoying a large wine, but then when don't I? So I really like going there, and they're generally okay about colours as long as you sort of make an effort to do your coat up or whatever to cover it up. They're not too bothered about you going in there in kits.
Good price?
No, it's a train station one. It's not like London prices, but it's not as cheap as you might get in some of the local pubs. Well, yeah, exactly. But I wouldn't say it's massively expensive, but you'll get better prices if you go into the local pubs. So just opposite the station, you head out, you walk past this silver waterfall on your right hand side. You go up to a little crossing, and straight in front of you there's a pub called the Howard, which on away days is always popular. Again, you'll get other football fans there, whoever Sheffield United, mind you, I'm assuming they wouldn't be playing that day, but other people who are travelling through Sheffield tend to visit. So that's always nice. They have a pool table, they have the football on, I think, if I remember right. There's also a couple of pubs just on that bit of street on the way out from the station that we've been to. There's loads of choices in Sheffield, in the city. Then what I would do is head up the hill, and you get this big square where you can catch the tram. We get the super tram, and you get it all the way down to Leppings Lane. And it's we've had some great away days going down on that tram. I must say, I moan about it, but it's something a bit different.
Leppings Lane.
Leppings Lane.
Leppings Lane. And what's down Leppings? What is that, like a district of the city where it's with bars, restaurant? What do you
I
find
think it's
down?
it's the main road that goes up to Hillsborough, and I believe
Oh,
for
okay.
anyone else who's fairly up to details on the Hillsborough tragedy, that's that Leppings Lane is referred to quite a lot because that's where the fans come out onto.
Oh, okay.
So it's the main road that goes into the away stand. So you can jump off the tram and then you just head down the hill into the away stand.
So
I've
the
always
Sheffield
enjoyed
Tap,
it there.
a Howard, and some pubs around the station.
Yep, that would be my suggestion.
Is there a Weddies? There's normally a
There,
Weddies
oh,
everywhere, particularly
it's
in the
Sheffield.
city.
Yeah, there is. I tell you what, there is the Railway Hotel near the ground. So if you are driving and you're going straight to the ground, there you come out of the ground. I think, if I remember right, you turn left, but you head towards the city centre, and there's a railway bridge in front of you, and in front of that is the Railway Hotel, which is the away fans pub. So there's that option as well, and I believe they have some good ales on as well. So
Okay.
yeah,
Nice.
Lee says I was right about Leppings Lane
If
there.
you do go to any of these locations, let us know in the comment section on Twitter, or if you go somewhere that we haven't mentioned, please let us know. Let Amy know via various social media. Drop it in the comments of this show or any other show, because we'll love. What we want to try and do as we go through is build. Am I right in saying, like a document, Amy, where each time we talk about Wednesday away, we've got actual fan recommendations from a fan platform with fan recommendations, right?
Yeah, absolutely, definitely. I tell you what, one that did just pop into my head as well that I was going to mention, if you're feeling a little bit flush, that Sheffield Casino is pretty cool. And obviously we'll have the lunchtime kickoff playing there as well. That is a get your credit card out place. But I've had a very nice 3-course meal there once. Very, very enjoyable. But yeah, the casino's within walking distance from the station. So that's another option if you're feeling lucky.
But don't bet. Don't do
No,
it to yourselves. It's the bet is going to football and just seeing if Town can turn up or not.
Yeah, you're taking enough of a gamble going to watch it.
Francis says pink ball. Is that where the white and the red merge in the wash? Why are we having? Why are we having pink balls, Fran?
Have we moved into snooker? There is the Crucible, obviously, in Sheffield, isn't there?
Danny Sonner. Love a bit of Danny Sonner.
No way, that's another one not on. How many have I missed out?
We're finding ones now that Amy hasn't even found herself. Danny Sonner, Steve Whitten, Shefke, Miller, and Reg. Luke the Reg Varney. Right, last but not least, don't forget we're up at 8:30. Me and George discussing the latest addition to Portman Road. Before that, we have got. If you do want to drive and come home the same evening, or even just driving and not drinking, or whatever you're doing, if you're driving, basically, where can they park, Amy?
It's pretty easy around Hillsborough. There's loads of places, loads of just pay a £5 to park for the game or whatever. My place when I drove on that Tuesday night it's called Clay Wheels Lane. So there's a big Sainsbury's just before you get to the Burger King on the right hand side as you come into Sheffield. You'll see a massive Sainsbury's. Turn right down in front of that and you're on Clay Wheels Lane, and it's just like it turns into a bit of a dirt track a bit further up. It gets a bit less and less like a road, but I remember right, it was kind of like in a bit of an industrial estate, completely free. That was on a Tuesday night, but it wasn't like it was permit parking or anything. So I'm pretty sure that'd be easy to go to. I'd love to hear where good old Ant is parking, because he's normally a safe bet for whatever he's doing. Is a good option. But yeah, that's where I would go, is Clay Wheels Lane.
Clay Wheels Lane, like it. Anywhere else if they get there and for whatever reason they can't be getting in Clay Wheels Lane?
Yeah, I believe you can go to the Greyhound Stadium, which is a little bit further up and on the left.
They got a Greyhound
and also
track.
another option. Yeah, so there's another option.
I'd be doing Saturday night. I'd be going the old dogs. Love a good dog, me. Absolutely, always trap 3. Round it goes. Never wins, just round it goes. Normally backwards, to be fair. You can always pick out my dog. It's the one that's running the wrong direction. Nice. I go by names. I'm one of those people with horses and with dogs. I go by names. Like the National, spend all day just looking at the paper, looking for that one name that jumps out. Yeah, absolutely. There we go. We're done. The first live one in the books, Aim.
Fabulous. Really, really enjoyed it. How nice the energy is when it's live and seeing everybody interacting, and how great the ex-players game is. That's a random idea that we had earlier in the season. It feels like it's really clicking now. So that's wonderful. You'll have to get your thinking caps on for Doncaster, I think is our next one, isn't it?
Ben Pringle. That's the only player I know played for both. No, not Ben Pringle. Was it Paul Green? Maybe they both did. I don't know, but one of them did.
I can think of one. I did work experience. I actually worked at Donny for a year voluntarily in their press office, and on like my first week with them, the guy that ran the press office set me up with an interview with this guy. Is one of my favorite ever players. So there's a really big one that maybe people might forget that he went to Donny. But yeah, so get your thinking caps on and come and join us for the next live to figure out who that one is.
You've already stumped me. I'm gonna have to get the old thinking cap on. Leighton says massive car park behind. Where's that, Amy? I've never been to
the Cop. Is that the away stand? No, it's the other end's the Cop, isn't it? So yeah, at the ground there's loads of places to park. You won't be stuck.
I like that. I like that Carlos Edwards swerve around the last man at the ground. Just
do that.
You might try and guess.
Just get there and see what you find.
Silky
Park in St.
smooth
Streets,
there.
it'll be fine.
Absolutely. Paul Green, Richie Wellins says Ben Moore. Ibrahim Asonko says Ben Moore. Look, we'll save it for the Doncaster one.
Don't spoil it now.
When are we playing Doncaster?
By the way, no, Ibrahim Osonko was not one of my favourite ever players.
Oh, but come on, he did come up with the greatest moment of Paul George's reign, where he's literally bicycle kicked it off the line to save what I still deem saving Paul George's job. I mean, what moments as Town fans? I still see that clear as day, you know. Sonko literally bicycle kicking it off the line onto the post, I think it was. Doncaster on Feb the 8th. So we are back with that on next Thursday, not next Thursday, the Thursday after, the 4th of February, because next Thursday I've got a budgie AGM, so I've got to go to that.
I have to figure out when we're going to do that one. Perhaps we can do that during the day and stick it out.
Grumpy Old Game, which is Neil, says, great show, guys. Thanks for having me on. No, thank you, Neil. Appreciate it. Was it Naylor, says Aston S. Don't say yes or no. Was it Naylor? What a way to end. Amy, your show. Lead us out, and I'll press that button.
Oh, I still haven't thought. There we go. That's what some people can help me with what my leaving line was. But you know what? It's been a lovely week so far. Let's just hope that Ipswich don't ruin it on Saturday.